Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Heather and today we are going to be doing my favorite book of 2024 because I really don't know what my book of 2024 is. So I made a little bracket and I saw Kayla from Books and Lala doing this and I was like, might as well just do it too. So I'm copying her. But here's my little bracket of all the books that I read for 2024. We're just going to go through and I'm going to pit them against each other, okay? So let me go ahead and kind of zoom in and make it look pretty. So I have 17 books that I read, or 17 books that I rated 5 stars. And those are the 17 books that are on here. So the first one I have is the Book of Azrael, or Azrael, however you say it. I really enjoyed that book. It is a romantasy and I read it for Ravished by Romance Book Club. I loved it. I thought that it was great. Diana is amazing and I really enjoyed her character. I really enjoyed how she is not the perfect character, and yeah, I just really enjoyed that book. Then I also have, this is where we talk things out, and this is a mother-daughter relationship where the daughter and the mom don't really get along all that well, and they are in the middle of the woods. I'm gonna zoom this in the middle of the woods, and stuff starts happening, and the mom is very much not a good person. I also read that for a book club too. Then I have Disobey the Duke If You Dare. That is a memoir that I read. Really enjoyed that. The second book doesn't come out until like 2 years and I'm really upset about that, but enjoyed it. It was a good time. The art in the book is beautiful. All the colors and just the storyline itself was really good, especially for romance. Then I have The Holidays, Brittany Cherry. Love me some Brittany Cherry. This was one of the books that I read for my holiday reading vlog that will be going up soon. But these two, they don't start out liking each other very much, but then they become like frenemies sort of, and then they're like super attracted to each other. He is trying to help her learn how to date, and I kind of pitched it as the ugly truth kind of book, where he is really attracted to her, he likes her, he starts to develop feelings for her, but she's like trying to date and stuff like that. So those two books are pitted against each other. Then we have The Mistletoe Motive, which is a rather short book, like romance book, and I enjoyed it because it's like a small town bookstore and these two people are they work together, and the female character in here, she really loves the bookstore. Like, it is her world. And then the guy, Jonathan, he is there because financial situations for the bookstore, when the female character, I can't remember her name at the moment, I think her name is Chloe. I don't remember. But they don't like each other because he just steps in and she feels like he's trying to take over the entire store, but he's just trying to help it survive. And they have to work together to make sure that the store survives, and they are attracted to each other. And she is one of those characters that I just freaking loved because she tells him exactly what she thinks, he tells her exactly what he thinks, and just the tension in this book was fabulous. Absolutely loved it. Then I have Carmilla, which I went into knowing it was like the reason why Bram Stoker wrote Dracula. I liked Carmilla better than I liked Dracula, okay? I love both of those books, but that was a pleasant surprise. And this character doesn't, or this character, this book does not do, like, this cover right here does not do the cover that I have justice. The cover that I have is absolutely beautiful. It's way over there right now. Then I have Natural Enemies, which is another novella. And this is about two guys who, one is a scientist, and then the other one, he is like a very well-known loved, oh, what is he? What is his job? He works with plants. He works with plants at a botanical garden, and the scientist he also works with plants, and he wants to find out why everyone loves the guy who works at the botanical garden so much. So he goes to one of his classes and sees how he interacts with people and wonders why he can't be more like the guy that works at the botanical gardens, because he's very charismatic, and the scientist dude is not very charismatic, and he's very quiet, very serious, and they are attracted to one another, and things get hot and steamy quick, and I really enjoyed it. Then we also have the Four Leaf. Four Leaf was very unexpected for me. I didn't go into it with a lot. Like, I didn't go into it thinking I was gonna like absolutely love it, but surprise, surprise, it was really good. And realized that the chasing trope in romance really did it for me, okay? Really, really did it for me. This other half of the bracket, I have The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins versus Rafe. And I really enjoyed The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. I like her domestic thrillers. They're some of my favorites. She's an auto-buy at this point, and this is a domestic thriller about this family who the grandma is giving her estate to her grandson, and people were really, really mad about it, and they're trying to sabotage him from getting the estate. Rafe is about this woman who just got a divorce, and she needs a nanny, like a live-in nanny, and she finds Rafe, who is a male nanny, and their relationship is so cute. They just get together. It's steamy. It was everything that I wanted in a nanny romance. Then we have When He Was Wicked by Julia Quinn versus The Reformatory. The Reformatory is about Robert. He is a 12-year-old boy, and he is black. He gets sent to a reformatory because of something that he does to a white boy, even though the white boy was the one that was in the wrong. And then we also have Gloria, who is Robert's older sister. And Robert gets sent to this reformatory, and he essentially gets caught up in trying to find haints, which are ghosts, in this reformatory. Something about the ghosts and him click, and he's supposed to get rid of them, but something happens to where he wants to help. And Gloria is trying to get her brother out of the reformatory because it's a really, really bad place. And I thought that it was an excellent book. It is very sad. It's very important. And it's gonna piss you off when you read it. So I liked it. When He Was Wicked was my favorite Bridgerton book that I read when I read the Bridgerton series last year. Or not last year. Last year. Duh, it's 2020. It's 2025 now. It's my favorite book that I read in the Bridgerton series. I love this couple. Michael is the best, okay? He is the best, and he is swoon material. I absolutely loved him. Then the last half, or the top of this side of the bracket, I have Kennedy Ryan's This Could Be Us and Listen for the Lie. This Could Be Us is a beautiful story about this woman who is divorcing her husband, and she falls for the guy who is actually taking her husband down because her husband is a piece of crap. And they are super attracted to one another. They don't want to be. She is trying to become an influencer because when her husband gets taken down, like, all the money stops. So she's trying to survive, like trying to find ways to survive, and he is trying to help her along the way. And I really like their romance. I liked their chemistry. I thought that it was very, very nice. and it overall was just a really, really good book. Listen for the Lie is a book about this chick whose best friend dies, and everyone thinks that the main character killed her best friend. And she comes back to this town because her grandmother cons her into coming back to the town. She hasn't been back in a long time. And it's just like taking you through all of that, like that avenue. Plus it's also taking you through this guy who is making a podcast about the murder, trying to figure out who actually killed the best friend, if it was our main character or if it was somebody else. And some of the things that comes out in that book, I was flabbergasted. I also listened to the audiobook. The audiobook's really, really good. It has different narrators for all of the podcasty things, and I loved being in the main character's head. I thought she was hilarious. She, even though it's a very serious book, her whole like, yeah, I can kill somebody. I already did it once. She didn't, like, she says that she didn't do it, but everybody's always saying, well, you did it, so you're guilty. And she's just like, yeah, if you're gonna say that I did it, might as well just say I did it. And she's just very nonchalant about it, even though it's a very serious topic. And how she, like, how the book ends, I liked all the twists and turns. And I also kind of liked the overall romance that happened in there too. I enjoyed it. Then we have 8 Perfect Hours. Again, this was one of the holiday romances that I read, and it was very unexpected. I went into it not knowing much about it, but it takes you, it starts with these two characters knowing each other, coming together. Something in their life snatches them apart, but they always find their way back. Like, they always find their way back to one another. And it was very, very sweet, very romantic, and it's a slow burn. It's not very steamy, and it was just very sweet. Then I also have Dead Note and Break Him, and I already know which one's going to move forward, okay? I already know which one's going to move forward. But Death Note, I enjoyed this because it is a true police investigation book where they're trying to, like, you already know who the killer is, and you see the police investigation going on at the same time. You get the killer's perspective plus the police inspections perspective, and I thought that it was very well done, and it was really good. And then we have Break Him by Nikki Grace. Break Him was one of my favorite books that I read of 2024, and I still think about it. I recommend it to a lot of people who are looking for a shorter domestic thriller or just a thriller in general about a morally gray female character and somebody that you do not want to mess with. Her name is Bree, and she finds out that her husband wants a divorce, and she has 15 days to break him. And boy, oh boy, does she. And I rooted for her the entire time. So I'm going to go ahead and say that Break Him is going to move on. Break Him beats out Death Note. So we're going to do that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start. We're just going to jump right in. So we have Break Him versus 8 Perfect Hours. Again, I'm going to go ahead and move on Break Him. So we have that. Then we're going to go down to the next section. And I'm doing this in Canva, so sorry if this pops up, but that's here. We can't do anything about it because I'm doing it in Canva. Alright, we have Listen for the Lie, and This Could Be Us. I'm going to move on Listen for the Lie because I remember more about that book than I do This Could Be Us. And I thought that the twist in Listen for the Lie was a little bit better than the third act for This Could Be Us. Okay, I'm moving Listen for the Lie on. And then I'm going to come back up here. I'm just going to go down the row. Okay, that's how we're going to do it. Oops, I moved that instead. Okay, so the Reformatory versus When He Was Wicked. I'm moving on to the Reformatory just because overall I liked the outcome of that book, and the overall message is a little bit, I liked the overall message of that book, and it's a book that I still think about, even though Michael, I love Michael, I liked the Reformatory a little bit better than when he was wicked. Okay, then I have The Heiress versus Rafe. I'm going to go ahead and move on Rafe just because it was a beautiful story, and The Heiress was very, very drama filled, and it was very, very messy, which I absolutely love, obviously, but I liked Rafe a little bit more than The Heiress. Okay, we have Natural Enemies versus The Four Leaf. I was totally into The Four Leaf, and it was one of those books that I did not want to stop reading. Whereas Natural Enemies, I thought that it was a very sweet romance, but The Four Leaf just hit me a little bit harder, especially with the chasing theme, or chasing trope of the guy chasing down the chick and, you know, them getting it on. I liked that a lot more. Carmilla versus the Mistletoe Motif. I'm gonna say Carmilla, because that book surprised me so much, and I absolutely loved Dracula when I first read it, and Carmilla was just one of those books that I was like, this is one of the reasons why I love gothic horror, like classic gothic horror. That was the book. Okay, that was the book. Then we have Disobey the Duke If You Dare versus The Holidates. I'm gonna say The Holidates moves forward. Oops. Say The Holidates moves forward just because I like the couple better in this one than I did Disobey the Duke If You Dare. And it's Brittany C. Cherry, so she automatically gets an up on other people. Okay, we have the Book of Azrael versus This Is Where We End Things. The Book of Azrael is moving forward because Diana is that chick. Okay, so we're gonna start right here. Book of Azrael versus The Holidates. Book of Azrael is moving forward, sorry. Just because it's dark, gritty, I loved it, and I can't wait to read the second book. You know? I don't know if you know, but there you go. So Carmilla versus The Four Leaf. Ooh, that's a tough one, because one of them is sapphic horror, the other one is like best friends getting together. If there was a second book, which one would this? That's how I'm going to determine this. If there was a second book in, like, if it was a series, which one would I read more? Like, which one would I be more excited about? And that would be The Four Leaf. But yeah, because I want to read about the sisters' romance, because I liked her sister in that. Okay, so there we go. There's that. That one's done. All right, we have The Reformatory versus Rafe. I'm moving on The Reformatory. Because again, I liked the message behind it, and it was very well written. Not that Rafe wasn't well written, but it, you know, it just captivated me a little bit more. Okay, hands down. Although main character in this book, I keep saying the main character in this book, I don't remember her name. I guess maybe I should look that up. Since I'm saying that it's like one of my favorite books, I should know her name. But even if you know me in real life, which most of you don't, I am horrible with names. It's one of my issues. Okay, what's your name? Lucy. Lucy is her name. I should have known that because that was one of my dogs growing up's names. But I'm moving on Bree, because Bree is, she's that person. Oh no. Bree versus Diana. Ooh. Oh, that's a tough one right there. Bree versus Oh no. Hmm. These characters, Diana and Brie, are so similar in ways because they don't let people walk all over them. They're very calculated with why they do things. And they love their people like no other. And they would do anything for their people. But they would also take down like anybody too. I'm gonna move on the Book of Azrael just because the ending made me want to read the second book so much, even though I've had the second book on my Kindle for a while, and I plan on finishing, like, I want to wait till all the books are done because I just want to read them and I don't want to have to wait, you know. But the ending to the Book of Azrael really got me, and I was like, oh, why did it end that way, you know? Sorry, Brie, man. I still love you. But the Book of Azrael, yeah. All right, then we have the Reformatory versus the Four Leaf. It's a tough one because they're completely different versus the one that we just saw. They're completely different, and Reformatory. Just because Gloria and Robert, they have my heart, you know. They're just the sweetest things ever, and they get dealt, like, the way that they have to fight for each other so young was very touching to me, and it just kind of broke my heart a little bit. Well, not a little bit, it broke my heart a lot, but the way that they still found each other at the end, and it was just beautiful, you know. Okay, the Book of Azrael versus the Reformatory. The Book of Azrael. Just because I can't wait to read the rest of the series, and I want to know what happens so much. And I really loved, like, the Reformatory is such a good story, but it's so sad. And I loved the Book of Azrael so much last year because the world was, I loved the world in it. I loved all the creatures in it. Obviously, I loved Diana. I loved how she took up for her sister. I loved how she fought for her sister, even if she didn't want to do what she was doing. She held it down for her sister. And she's about to look some people, okay? And I'm ready. My camera stopped working, but I'm ready to see Diana mess up some people for what they did to her family. And I'm ready to see her come into her powers and see how much, like, I'm just ready for it, okay? So the Book of Azrael is my favorite book of 2024. Thank you very much. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this. I really am enjoying these sit-down videos, and I don't know why I haven't done them more. So the Book of Azrael is my favorite. Okay. I'm really excited about that because I thought that Breakham was going to be my favorite, but then Diana and Brie going against each other, man. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. Leave a comment down below letting me know what your favorite book of 2024 was, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.